We're talking with our friend Sandy McJunkin. Sandy actually used to work here at XO Country, and she was in Las Vegas for the Route 91 Harvest Festival. In fact, she was right down front, right next to the stage by Jason Aldean when the shots started ringing out. And Sandy, I know you go to this festival every single year, right?
We went to the very first one in 2014, and my granddaughter and I went every year. It's our annual bonding
It's your thing.
trip, and it's been ruined. We won't go back.
So, well, I was going to ask you that later, but but that's okay. But you don't want to go back?
No.
You don't want to go back to this one, or you don't want to go back to another festival like that?
That's a good question. Right now, I don't want to ever go to another festival, but things change and your mind changes. We won't go back to Route 91 festival again because it's like an open wound.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know about like we have NFR tickets and reservations, and my granddaughter doesn't want to go. I don't want to go at this point. It's indoors. It's a whole different situation.
But it's a crowd situation.
It is, and it's like the Ariana Grande concert. Mm-hmm. It's like, do you just stay inside and not go out for a while? You have to start thinking. You just think about everything different now.
Yeah.
Your surroundings.
It's interesting because, you used to be my neighbor. You used to work here at the radio station. You also used to be my neighbor. And so I know you fairly well. You do seem different.
Really?
Yeah, you do. You seem different. You seem tentative, which is not what I would describe you before.
No, I was pretty tenacious before.
So I can tell that you're still, obviously, it's been less than a week.
Yeah, you're shook up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I still shake once in a while.
Do you?
Just physically shake. And like just last night, I was watching some news coverage, and it panned the audience from the stage. And I broke down because I saw my granddaughter where we were standing, and I was standing right behind her.
To take you back to that?
Yeah, I lost it.
Yeah, I'm curious. What is it like to watch the news coverage of all of this?
Well,
is it accurate?
It's very accurate, and what I find very interesting is that I'm comparing what other survivors say about their experiences and what they heard and saw, and it's exactly in line with us. So that in itself is, I guess, comforting or reassuring that we're all on the same page. And my granddaughter hasn't watched any news coverage, but I wanted to, because you feel like you need to stay connected to those people, because nobody else can understand or have any concept of the fear for your life and the adrenaline you had and what you went through. And it's kind of a bonding, I guess, to hear their stories. And then you start feeling a little guilty because we didn't have to see all the death and the blood, and it all happened on the other side of the stage.
Yeah, so what happened? What was your situation? What happened to you guys?
Well, I've actually been to an FBI shooting range, and I've actually shot an automatic weapon, which I'm not bragging about. I just know the sound. Okay, so when the shooting first started, I did not think it was fireworks. I knew it was bad. It wasn't good, but your brain I couldn't process it fast enough to know exactly what it was until it started again. And my granddaughter and I were the first two down because everybody else was just standing. And Jason Aldean was actually still singing when we went down. So,
are you in front of the stage at this point? Or
we were the first ones in. We were at the exact front of the stage against the fence. So we could not leave either.
Yeah, because you got all the people behind you.
Exactly. They all came in. So we were stuck. So we laid down on the ground. And we were praying. And we thought, of course, like everyone else, the shooter was on the ground and coming towards us. We thought we were going to get shot laying there.
Because you don't know he's in a hotel room.
We had no idea. And nobody else did. You don't think to look up.
Right.
And we thought there were more than one, too, the way it sounded. Then somebody came over the fence and just yelled at us, "Run, get out." So we turned and ran, and now we're the last ones out, and I'm ready to get shot in the back because he's shooting, and we're the last ones going out that side of the stage. So every time he'd start shooting again, we'd crouch down.
Is that just a natural instinct?
Yeah, it is.
You just kind of...
And it's so weird because you see it on TV shows and whatnot. People crouch down, but you do. It's just an instinct. And then we'd run again. He'd stop, and then he'd start again. You'd crouch down. And then we just were trying to find something. We crawled under these temporary structures they had built. So we're crawling under there and hitting our heads. And, I mean...
How long is this, how long is this, you think, from the time the shots start firing until you're out of there?
I wish I could say how long we laid there.
Probably seems like forever.
It does, but it wasn't. I'm going to say a minute.
Oh, really?
Maybe. I really don't know how long it was. We actually ran to the airport.
You just wanted to get far away from the
So
venue.
did you leave your stuff? Did you just get to the airport?
Well, we ran. We just ran, and we ran into the airport. I didn't physically or thoughtfully say, let's go to the airport. We just started running, and we ended up at the airport.
Because it's over on that side of
town.
Exactly.
Come to find out, there were thousands of others who ran that direction, but they got through a fence, and they were running across the landing strips.
Really?
They had to close the airport down because people were hiding in gutters and running across the landing strips.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we got into an executive hangar where the artists and rich people charter airlines. We ended up in a street all by ourselves, and it was just the most ghostly experience. Yeah, shivers.
Eerie,
exactly.
yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. And we saw a door open, and Peyton's like, let's go in there. And I'm like, okay, let's go. And we ran in there, and there were about 30 other people in there. So we just grabbed a floor under a desk and stayed there, and they had a police scanner. And the police were saying there were shooters at not Mandalay, but Excalibur and Luxor and MGM, and there was a car bomb. And we're like, oh my word, we're under attack. And everybody was freaking out. And then probably 20 minutes later, they're like, nope, we've checked them all out. False alarms. So where all that was coming from, I don't know. But she didn't have her ID. I, for some stupid reason or lucky reason, grabbed my bag. I reached back and grabbed my bag before we started running. So I had my ID and money and everything. But we were not going back to our motel. We just left everything, and we couldn't get on the airplane because our flight was leaving at 8. She didn't have ID, and we didn't want to just hang out and wait around. So the sheriffs took us to the airport where we had reserved a room. We called Deanna, my daughter, and she reserved a car, reserved a car for us. So they took us, and we got in a car at 3:30 in the morning, and I drove to Dillon, Montana.
So what about your bags?
They're still in our room as far as I know. Security is going to go in and get everything and send them to us, but it could be a couple weeks.
Wow, so you literally did run from the venue to the airport and out of town. Yeah.
And left, yeah.
Huh, that must have been some car ride home.
Well, actually, it was
or
probably
did it feel safe, like you were away?
We felt safe after we got to Salt Lake.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't take any main drags. They were all closed down. So we were wandering those side streets trying to get to the interstate, and in every turn you'd see flashing lights, and I'm like, what's going on here? We're going to be shot here. It was just...
Wow, it sounds like a movie.
And we were in it.
Yeah, and you were in it.
Yeah. So it's hard to articulate. It's hard to put words to it, especially to your feelings and the fear and the adrenaline and, the bumps and bruises and scrapes and scratches we're finding on our bodies is incredible. But the thing that impressed me the most was, I'm sure it was a matter of 5 minutes before we got out of the venue. And on the side streets, people had been shot and they had already gotten out, and there was ambulance there triaging had IVs set up.
That quick.
That quick. I'm like, wow.
Huh.
It was very impressive how fast they got there. So the response was incredible for helping people. Except, the people that were inside. The police couldn't go inside because, people were getting shot. They had to go towards the shooter to stop the shooting.
Because too, with everybody leaving, it'd be hard to be like a salmon going
swimming upstream.
How do you get? Because they're running away from.
Right.
Could you tell where the shots were coming from?
I knew they were coming from that side of the stage.
But you didn't know exactly where, or hotel or anything.
Yeah, no. I thought they got in the venue and were shooting. And of course, it was ricocheting. Everything was ricocheting, and bullets were just flying everywhere. They missed us. They just totally missed us.
Yeah.
We had guardian angels or something, but it was a roll of the dice. Are you going to make it or are you not?
Wow. Well, I've never been in that situation before. I hope I never am. I can tell. You're affected by it. I can tell.
Yeah, we'll see in time.
Just want to give you a hug.
I know, I will.
Yeah, when you made it home, was that the first thing you did? Hugged your loved ones here in Montana?
Yeah. My granddaughter and I did not let go of each other the whole time. And it's a bond that we'll have. Somebody said to us, you've just joined a ever-increasing club of this.
There's not very many people in that club.
Of survivors from events like this.
But it's growing, which is the saddest part. That club is getting bigger, and eventually you'll run into somebody else who's been through something like that, because it's inevitable, unfortunately.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you're okay.
Thank you. Me too.
It's good to see you again. And we'll let's stay in touch.
Absolutely.
So thanks for coming in.
Thank you.